Welcome back to Math Easy, everyone. Let's see how to solve percent mixture problems. So we have the first example here is how many gallons of 3% acid solution must be mixed with 60 gallons of 10% acid solution to obtain an acid solution that is 8%. Now the percent mixture problems, they look really overwhelming. I would always say if you are working on a word problem, break it down into small datas. So how many? How many gallons? So we don't know how many. Let's think of this one as solution A. Now let's make a table and divide that table in how much we need, what is the percent, and if we mix that, what would be the total amount. Since we don't know for the first solution how much amount is there, let's write it as X. 3% can be written as 0.03. So if I mix 3% of acid into X amount of solution, the total solvent would be 0.03X. Now let's go to the next part. We are mixing this with solution B, which is 60 gallons of 10% acid solution. Now what does that mean? You take a 60 gallon and 10% of acid is mixed in that. So we have 0.1, 10% is 0.1, and if you multiply that, you get the total amount, which is 60 times 0.1 or just 6. You can also leave it like that. Now the final amount here is that we need to make is 60 plus X. And why 60 plus X? If you mix X with 60, then the total would be 60 plus X. The total concentration of the final solution is 0.08%. So the final amount would be 60 times 0.08. Now let's create an equation. And how can we create an equation? We know that if we mix solution A with solution B, we get our final solution. So solution A plus solution B would give me my final solution. Here SOLN is just my short cut to write solution. So how much was solution A? Remember, we took X amounts and we mixed it with a percentage of acid, and our final one was 0.03X. So I took X amount, X gallons, and mixed 0.03 percent, 3% or 0.03 acid solution in that. And for solution B, we had 60 gallons times 10%, which makes it 6. And the final solution was 60 plus X times the concentration, which was 8% or just 0.08. Now this equation is in decimals. You can go ahead and solve the equation just like that. But I like to make it look a little bit simpler. It's not a required step, but it is a recommended step. So we will multiply by 100 to just make calculation a little bit easy. So you will go ahead and multiply by 100 on both sides. So distribute 100 on the left side. You will get 100 times 0.03X, which is 3X, plus 600 equals to, so this 100, don't make a mistake and multiply that by both the terms in the parentheses and the factor outside. Just make it 1. So I'll go ahead and multiply 0.08 by 100. So let's rewrite this again. 3X plus 600 equals to 0.08 times 100 would be just 8, and 60 plus X. And now you can distribute this 8 with the terms inside the parentheses. If you distribute that, you will get 480 plus 8X. And now we will solve this like how we will solve a equation with variables on both sides. So I will subtract 480 on both sides, which will give me 3X plus 120 equals to 8X. And then I will subtract 3X on both sides, which will give me 120 equals to 5x. And then you will just go ahead and divide with 5 on both sides. So the value of x is 24 gallons. Now remember, we all only needed to find how much of a solution A should be mixed, and the amount that we had taken for solution A was just x. So we can just stop here and say that x equals to 24 gallons, or we can go ahead and find a little bit more information. So the amount of our final solution would be, we mixed 60 gallons of solution B with x gallons of solution A. So we can find out the total amount of our final solution, and also write that the amount taken for solution A is x equals to 24 gallons, which was our original question. Alright, so let's learn this by another example. We'll use another example. Alright, let's learn another example. How many gallons of each of 4% and 11% salt solution should be mixed to obtain 35 gallons of 7% solution? Now in this case, a final amount has been given to me, but I don't know how many gallons of each solution I'm mixing with. So when we do not know something, in case of algebra, we assume. We can see that solution A plus solution B gives me a final solution, which is 35 gallons. I can assume solution A to be x gallons, and solution B I can write just like that, but the final amount is 35. Now this allows me to write solution B as 35 minus x gallons. And once we have an idea, we can go ahead and create a table. Similarly, in a similar way we created our last table. So let's write it down: amount, percentage, and the total solution we will create. So we are using solution A, solution B to create a final solution. Now solution A was just x gallons that we assumed, so we can write it as x. Solution B was 35 minus x gallons, and final solution obtained was 35. Now I'm going back to just see the percentage concentration amount. For solution A, it was 4%, or we can write it as 0.04. Solution B was 11%, 0.11. Final solution was 7%, or 0.07. And you will multiply those amounts to see how much of total each solution you get. So solution A will be 0.04x, solution B would be 0.11 times 35 minus x, and the final solution obtained has been given to us as 35 gallons multiplied by the concentration, which would be 0.07. Remember, in the percentage solution problem, usually the acid concentration of first solution and second solution, when you mix them, the final concentration is somewhere in the middle. So you are mixing a 4% concentration with an 11% concentration, which gives you a final concentration of 7%, which is somewhere in the between the two concentrations. Now let's create an equation. We know that if we mix these two solutions, A and B, we get a final solution, a new solvent. Solution A is 0.04x. Solution B is 0.11 times 35 minus x. And this mixes to give us a final solution, which is 0.07 times 35. Now you can go ahead and solve this equation just like that, but I like to multiply with 100 to make it a little bit simpler. So I'll multiply by 100, I'll distribute 100, which will give me 4x plus 11 times 35 minus x equals to 7 times 35. And I'm going to solve this equation in a little bit different way than how we usually solve equations. So I will distribute 11 with 35 but not multiply the numbers. And why? Because I don't like to use calculator and I'm trying to not do difficult multiplication here. So I'm showing you a different way to approach this. So just go ahead, subtract 11x from 4x, which will give you 7x. And now subtract 11 times 35 on both sides, which will give you 7 times 35 minus 11 times 35. Now you can see that on the right side of the equation, 35 is a common factor. You can factor it out, which will give you 7 minus 11. And if you pay attention, this looks like the opposite of distribution. 7 minus 11 is negative 4. Again, I will not multiply 35 and 4, but I will just go ahead and divide by negative 7 to isolate my x. 35 divided by negative 7 is negative 5. And negative 5 times negative 4 will give me positive 20. So x is equals to 20 gallons. So the amount of first solution used is 20 gallons. Using this value, we can find out the amount for second solution or solution B. So solution A is 20 gallons. And solution B would be 35 minus x, or just 15 gallons. And if you add those two solutions, you can see that they end up to give you 35 in total. 20 plus 15 will give you 35 gallons, which is the final amount. Now I'll say pause the video and try the third example by yourself and let me know the answer in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel.